I am Sharon Holmes. Welcome to the She Shines podcast, where we are empowering you to embrace every facet of who you are, helping you to develop a beautiful balance in life, and encouraging women everywhere to shine. You can follow the She Shines podcast on iTunes, Google Play Music, YouTube, Spotify, or wherever you tune in to your favorite podcasts. Get in on the conversation. Join the sisterhood at facebook.com/groups/She Shines podcast. So get ready. The She Shines podcast starts right now. Wow, can you believe that we are already at episode number 20? Our 20th episode of the podcast. I mean, they say time flies when you're having fun, but I'm really starting to believe them because it has flown by. Who would have guessed that at show 1 we would be at show 20? Like I was there in my head, but not quite there. To be here is somewhat surreal. But at the same time, I'm going, wow, we're at the end of our second season. And as I was prepping for this show, this final show of the season, I got to tell you, I panicked a little bit. My thoughts were racing because there was so much more I wanted to squeeze into season 2, but there was just no time to fit it all in. I mean, I wanted to hit some heavy stuff, heavy topics like the violence, the trauma, and the grief that goes along with all of that, especially because I'm based in Chicago in the summertime, and we see crime rates just skyrocket. Probably everywhere does, but Chicago becomes like a total battlefield in the summer months, and so I really wanted to kind of hit some of that and figure out what to do with all of these feelings and emotions that come with it. That infertility is a subject that's close to my heart, and I had hoped to get that in this season, and I didn't get a chance to do that. And then I also wanted to sound off about some other stuff, like things nobody ever told me about getting older. Like my eyes would start playing tricks on me. I wear glasses and I still can't see, that kind of stuff. And then how to handle that first gray hair. Nobody told me it was coming. I should have known, but nobody told me. And so when I saw it in the mirror, I kind of went through a thing. The devil popped up in the front of my head. And so, I kind of wanted to hit some of that stuff. And I even really wanted to get into some fun stuff like dating and how to find true love in a 2019 kind of world. Now, it's going to take at least 2 shows to deal with that. So when I'm sitting here with only 1 show remaining, I'm like, what am I supposed to do with that? Which topic do I choose to close out this season with? Decisions. And I was kind of going a little bit crazy for a second. But then I took a step back and a few deep cleansing breaths. Woosah. And I decided to use this show to celebrate my small wins. Well, you know what? No, let me correct that and let me start all over again. Not celebrate the small wins, but celebrate every win, because there's really no such thing as a small win. A win is a win is a win, honey. And so sometimes I have to remind myself to celebrate each and every victory that I have on my way to my ultimate goal. Now, I don't know if you're like me, but for me, sometimes it is so easy to get ahead of myself. Now, I'm living in 2019, but my mind can already see where I want to be in 2025 when I turn 50. Now, stop trying to calculate my age, but I'm already there. Like, I see my end game right from the start. And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, it's a great thing to begin with the end in mind because it helps to keep me focused. However, as I sit here in the last show of the season, I realized that if we get so focused on the big goals, the goals like what my life will look like in 5 years or 10 years, or, how my business will be once it really takes off, or what job I'm going to have after I graduate, or the things that you'll do when you finally get married. When we become too focused on those huge goals, those big goals, we tend to forget to celebrate every win we have along the way. We might forget to celebrate the fact that we're making better decisions today than we used to make. A year ago, our mindset was a little different than it is now. That's a goal. That's a win that we can celebrate on the way to an ultimate goal. We might forget, if we're not careful, to celebrate all the things we're doing to get our business where we want it to be. You got that logo created this year. Stop. Pat yourself on the back. Give yourself a hand. You created a business plan. Now, if you did that, honey, that ain't no small feat. So you might want to give yourself some congratulations right now. Celebrating the win along the way. I know that we look forward to getting that perfect job after graduation, but don't forget to celebrate at the end of every semester. You are closer than you were 6 months ago. Like I know I am. And in another 6 months, baby, bye. You won't be able to tell me anything because I'll be done with all of my major classes. And so celebrating, each win that we face along the way. We can't get so laser focused on what will happen after you finally get married that you don't take the time to enjoy that dating process. Okay, I know it's rough out there, but you got a man, girl. That alone is enough for a turn up, right? And even if you're not dating anyone right now, you can celebrate the fact that you decided not to settle. Because let's face it, if you just wanted a man, the milkman, the garbage man, any old man, you could have one, right? But you're setting things in order and you're spending your life trying to get things to the place where you can spend your life with the right man. And that's major. I would celebrate that, girl. And so instead of tripping, finding myself in my own words, instead of tripping about the fact that I only have one more show left, I started to rethink things, I may not have gotten to cover every topic I wanted to hit in this season, but I realized this. I covered a ton of stuff. I mean, we really covered a lot of ground in this season. And that alone was enough to make me want to pull out my party hat. Like I was ready to celebrate at that point. And so here is what I decided to do to celebrate the end of season 2. So 2 things about me. I love winning, and people who know me, you already know that I love winning, but I also love giving gifts. I love to see people's faces light up. Christmas is my favorite holiday, and I'll tell you why. Not because of all of the gifts that I might get, but it is because I take the time to try to really think about the people in my life that I love, and I try to get them the gift that I know they want, but forgot to get for themselves. So I really put a lot of time and effort into giving gifts because I'm a giver. I love giving, and I love to see people happy. So I figured, why not combine the two to close out season 2 of She Shines podcast? So I want to give you a chance to win a She Shines swag bag. So I've got a couple of bags of goodies that I want to give away. How can you win one of them? Real easy. All you got to do is listen to the remainder of the show. So for the remainder of the show, I'm going to play a few of my favorite clips from season 2. Because when I started walking down memory lane and celebrating every win I had along the way to get to this point, there were so many shows I liked and so much powerful material. And there were so many just thought-evoking conversations that I had that I could not pick one specific one. So I just figured, you know what? I want to recap the season. I want to review, and I want to pull out some of my favorite moments from season 2. So I'm going to play my favorite clips from season 2, and all you have to do is inbox me and tell me the title of the shows that each clip came from. That's it. That's all. So are you ready? Let's get started with a few of my favorite moments. And I'm going to say these are in random order. Like I guess I'm like a mom with children. I can't pick one show over the other one and say, this is my favorite. Because then I'd be like, when I look at the next show, oh, this one is my favorite. No, this one is my favorite. So they're all my favorite. And I really could not pick one to rank over the other one. So I'm just going to do them in random order. And all you have to do is just take a listen for some clues and see if you can identify which show each clip comes from. Are you ready? Here's the first clip.
Usually when I talk to individuals that are seeking advice, even mentorship regarding entrepreneurship, I always ask them the question. Would you do this for free?
That's deep. That's deep.
Because now that lets me know if you're really serious or not. And the reason why I ask that question is because in the beginning stages of entrepreneurship, you're not going to make a lot of money.
Absolutely. That's true.
In fact, you're going to spend more money
than you make.
You're not going to see profit all the time. And so if you are gunning for this, because you no longer want to answer to anyone, you no longer want to submit. You just want to, you feel that it's glamorous because everybody else is doing it. You're going to quickly see that this may not be the journey for you. So whatever idea that you have, whatever, passion that you have, entrepreneurship is about solving a problem in the marketplace. So I want to know from you, number one, would you do it for free? And then number two, is it a side hustle? There's a difference between having a business and a side hustle. Wow. All side hustles are not meant to be businesses.
You know what? I need to raise an offering right now. This woman is preaching. There is a difference between a business and a side hustle.
There is. And I'm not against side hustles. I believe in multiple streams of income. I believe in 2019, everyone should have at least 5 to 7 multiple streams of income. We live in a world where everything is consistently changing. Fortune 500 companies that have made multi-millions are closing down every single day. Things are changing around us. I never thought, Sharon, that I would see the day where, malls would be completely empty.
Yes.
You see nothing but space. And it kind of grieves me, but it also lets me know that we are in a day and age where things are consistently changing. And life as we know it is no longer. It's no longer the way that we thought it was going to be. So when you have these big box stores that are completely shutting down, and I can name so many offhand, but completely shutting down stores that we knew about when we were children.
Yes.
You can no longer go to anymore. That's a good indicator that, number one, it is the time for the small business owner to rise up,
yes,
and take your place. And then number two, that you need to find a solution to a problem that's in the marketplace. No longer is the power to the big box, but now the power is shifting.
Wow, I had such a great time with my special guest on that show. I just love her. Now, I'm not going to tell you who she is. If you listened, you know already. But if you haven't, don't worry. You can go back and catch the full version of the show. There was some great stuff that she shared in that show. So if you haven't heard the full version, definitely go and catch us on iTunes, Google Play Music, Spotify, Stitcher, or wherever you listen to podcasts. You'll find us there. Go back and listen to that. And in the meantime, here is your second clip. And then allow yourself, this is what we don't do a lot of the time, allow yourself to feel the hurt or the disappointment from a loss. It's okay. The world will still be revolving. Everything will still go on. Just allow yourself to feel the hurt and disappointment from it. That teaches us that we're still alive after the big failure, after the loss, after it didn't work. Because we can feel the pain of that. That feeling lets us know we're still here and we have an opportunity to do something different and an opportunity to do something about that. And what we tend to do is not talk to people about it because we don't want to bring up the fact that something did not work or that we failed. But if you need to talk about it, talk about it. You don't need to necessarily hide your failures because what happens is you end up hiding from your failures instead of just hiding hiding them from others, you hide from them. And sometimes I found this to be true, and this is probably why counseling works. I'm going to throw this in for free, is that sometimes when you talk to other people, it helps you to get clarity on your own situation, even if the person doesn't say a word back to you. If you just talk it out with somebody else sitting in the room, something's going to hit your brain that you never would have come up with if you had avoided the situation altogether. So if you need to talk about a loss, talk about it. It's okay. It's okay to feel the hurt. It's okay to feel frustrated. It's okay to feel bad. It's okay to talk about it. What's not okay is staying there. So it's okay to feel those things. It's okay to experience it. But then we've got to understand that once it's gone or once it didn't work, grieve it and leave it. Simple as that. Grieve it and leave it. It happened. It was terrible. But now that is part of the past. That is not my present and that is not my future. It's something that happened, but it's not who you are. Wow, now that was right on time, especially when we're in this episode talking about celebrating every win, because we've all had those moments that make us appreciate every single win even more. And I especially love sharing that episode because so many times we are our worst critics, and we're so hard on ourselves that we don't give ourselves a break and really realize that, just as we learn to celebrate every win, we've got to deal with the flip side of that. So that was clip number 2. And here we go with number 3.
We're all advocates. I think we all have a responsibility as it comes to stopping or ending the cycle of domestic violence. I think if we're not in a relationship, we know someone. If we don't know someone, we were in one, or we're coming out of one, or we know a perpetrator. I think we all have a responsibility. And I think we all have a responsibility to say something, but what we say is really important. So when you talk about love and I have to first of all think, I can't judge. I cannot judge this woman. I have to listen to her. It's not me. So how I will respond is now how she's going to respond. Now, she's been in a relationship with this man for 5 years. And for whatever reason or however she have come to this conclusion, she loves this man. She's built a relationship with him. They have a child. They have a home. So my first instinct is to tell her to get out and run to the hills. But I can't do that. I can't do that. I have to she knows that, as we say in the field, she knows her situation better than I do. So
she's the expert on her life.
She's the expert on her life. I think with any situation, she's an expert on her life. I can provide education, information, and support in a non-judgmental way and hope that she will come out. It's not that she's not strong enough. It's not that she doesn't pray enough. It's not that she doesn't have enough support. She just hasn't realized it yet. So our role as advocates in her life, even though we're not walking with her, we are to provide that information for her.
Mama said there'd be days like this, but whoo, child, did she tell you the other side? It took 2 entire episodes for us to really deal with this topic. But I've got to tell you, if you have not heard it, stop right now. Go listen to it, because this part right here puts you in position to help somebody else. Like, I got so many comments from people who never thought that they would need this information. But then once they heard it, they're like, oh my God, I had to even add numbers to my contacts. And it put them in a position of power to really be able to reach back and help somebody else. Listen, the saying must be true. It is better to have loved and lost than never to have loved at all. That's it. That's all I'm saying. I'm moving right on along to clip number 4. Now, I might get in trouble for this next statement, but I got to make it anyway. You know me. Stop trying to produce outside of your season, and stop letting other people place out-of-season demands on you. I know it's real easy to do because they've seen us do this before, and they've seen us do it so well that they want us to do it on command. We've planned a party, and that party was amazingly successful, and now they want a party, and they want us to do all the work. and it's out of season for us. We've got so much other stuff going on. We don't have time to do it, but we don't want to disappoint them. And so we allow them to place out of season demands on us. But we've got to stop and think, is that thing that they want from me something that I should be doing right now? I've got to be my own gatekeeper. Is this in season for me? Now, I am not one who loves to cook, but those who love to cook, those bakers, I have a niece who loves to bake, and she could probably make a strawberry shortcake in the winter. But how many stores would she have to go to get strawberries that she could actually use? Would they be sweet enough to make the end product taste good? Or would she have to use artificial sweeteners to get the same effect that she could get if she did it in season? You might have done a great job at it before. As a matter of fact, I'm willing to bank and say that you did. But is it something you should be doing right now? Is it in your season? This show, that was my come to Jesus moment, girl. I learned how to say no so quick. If you need some help, baby, grab you a can of Lowry's because I'm done. I'm staying in mine, okay? Let's move on, y'all. Let's move on to clip number 5. That's her sole function. Her true purpose is to serve as reproducer. When I read that, honey, I almost took off running. I'm like, yes, that is her superpower. She can lay eggs while the other bees can't. If she does not reproduce, the entire hive suffers. If she does not dispense what's inside of her, the whole colony is put at risk. So let me ask you, what's your superpower? What do you have inside you that needs to be deposited into someone else? Is it kindness? Maybe others can follow your lead in that. Is it how to be a lady? How to carry yourself? Something as simple as etiquette, sitting with your legs crossed, chewing with your mouth closed, for God's sakes. That needs to be reproduced in our culture, in our society. Is it being an example of how to respect yourself? Now more than ever, our younger girls need to see us respecting ourselves, because when we respect ourselves, we don't have to say a word. It automatically demands respect from the people around us. I found this out a few years ago, and I like to take this with me and dispense it everywhere I go, is that people will not respect you any more than you respect yourself. If you don't respect yourself, they will pick up on it in a minute, and they will treat you just the way you treat yourself. Is your superpower strength and fortitude? Is it not giving up when you hit adversity? Somebody is on the verge of giving up right now, today, and they need you to plant seeds of stick-to-itness in their lives. They need to see you doing what you're doing, even when it's not easy. That gives them courage to do that. That's reproducing strength. That's reproducing fortitude. Maybe your superpower is nonstop positivity. That's who you are all day long. That's what you do. Do you know somebody is waiting to have you lay that golden egg in their basket? They need your positive perspective on what they're doing. So what is that thing that you reproduce everywhere you go? Just like the queen bee, whatever you deposit is your superpower. So there you have it, queens. Those are some of my favorite moments of season 2. And now, drum roll, please. Here is your chance to win. All you got to do is inbox me. Now, do not put your answer in the comments. You're going to give it away. You're going to tell everybody. Don't put your answer in the comments. Inbox me and tell me the title of the show where each clip came from. Okay? Real simple. That's all you got to do. One inbox, tell me where each of those 5 clips came from. I need the actual title of the show. So do your homework. And then we're going to go on break for about a month here in between seasons. So this concludes season 2, but then we'll be back in about a month. Now, since you have a month off, since you have a month vacation, this will be a great time to go back and really listen to the shows that you might have missed. You know what? It might even be worth taking a second listen to some of the ones you've heard, because there's always a hidden gem. There's always a nugget that might hit you today differently than it did back when you listened to it the first time. So definitely go to iTunes, Google Play Music, Spotify, Stitcher, wherever you listen to your podcast, go there and give a listen or a re-listen to all of the great things that we talked about in season 2. And guess what? The winners for the She Shines swag bags will be announced on September 5th when we come back to kick off season 3 of the podcast. So go ahead, take your time, listen to those episodes, and make sure that you send in your enter to win one of the swag bags. And we will announce those winners in just about a month here on September 5th when we come back for season 3. Now listen, let me take this moment just before I close out this last show of the season to thank you for sticking with the show. I have to tell you, I have truly enjoyed just hanging out with you all, having conversations. I mean, your comments, your encouragement, your thumbs up. Sometimes you'll raise your hand and it lets me know I'm not the only one. I love that. I love getting your feedback, and it has made this entire journey worth it. I mean, it is so special to me to just be able to walk out what I believe my life's calling is and have other people say, hey, you know what? I kind of like what you're doing, and I think I might stick around. You might have one or two things to say. So I appreciate you so much for your dedication and listening. And it's always my prayer that something will be said that resonates with you, you know, and helps make you better and helps make your way easier. So don't be afraid to drop a comment and let me know what your aha moment was from season 2. Maybe you had a great takeaway. Maybe something shifted in your life when you listened to one of the episodes. I'd love to hear your story. So definitely drop a comment and let me know about that. Listen, I love each and every one of you to life. So be good while I'm gone, and I will talk to you on September 5th. Season 2 is a wrap. Peace. You have been listening to the She Shines podcast, where we are empowering you to embrace every facet of who you are, helping you to develop a beautiful balance in life, and encouraging women everywhere to shine. If you are a woman who shines and you want to see someone else shine too, join the sisterhood at facebook.com/groups/She Shines podcast, and you can share the shine. To get instant updates on our podcast, subscribe on iTunes, Google Play Music, YouTube, or Spotify. I'm your host, Sharon Holmes. Until next time, shine on.